special seats right next to me.
There will be no pinching.
Exactly.
Unless Grandma pinches. Right to the Oh, were you filming that?
I did get that, yes. That part I did get.
One of the oldest traditions of military service. It pays tribute to the sacrifices and professional excellence that have traditionally been keys to the greatness and, at times, the survival of America. Your presence today not only manifests your appreciation for Master Sergeant Jacobs' 23 years of dedicated service to her country, but also reflects your sincere wishes for a gratifying and rewarding future for Sergeant Jacobs and her family. At this time, we'd like to recognize and thank our special guests for their attendance at today's ceremony. Members of Master Sergeant Jacobs' family, her husband, Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs, her daughter, Savannah Jacobs, her twin boys, Zachary Jr. and Alex Jacobs, her mother, Mary Denise Shea, her father and stepmom, John and Donna Leahy, her brother and sister-in-law, Kevin and Kayla Early. Also joining us today, the commander of the 96th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Colonel Michelle Anton, the squadron senior enlisted leader, 96th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Chief Master Sergeant Jared Whitcomb, and the First Sergeant, 96th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Master Sergeant Heather Chua. In addition, we would like to welcome all group commanders, squadron commanders, chiefs, co-workers, family and friends who have come to celebrate Master Sergeant Jacobs' retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and the singing of the national anthem. Clinical Registered Nurse, Inpatient Operations Squadron.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're probably wondering what I'm doing up here as a first lieutenant. I just want to tell a little bit of my story and how I know Master Sergeant Jacobs. I'd like to thank first for her family traveling all the way to be here, and then our leadership for being here to support her and honor her in her nearly 24 years of service to our country. You can hear me. So Master Sergeant and I, as of this month, on the 15th, Master Sergeant Jacobs and I have known each other for 8 years. Oh, go ahead and take a seat. I'm sorry. Big left knee hanging. Over your hips. I'm sorry. Please be seated. Everybody is pointing at me. I'm like, I don't know what you want. Like, is the mic close enough? Okay, I'm sorry. Please be seated. So, as of this month, we've now known each other for 8 years. Sergeant Jacobs is infamously known when I talk about her as my first supervisor, NCOIC, and flight chief when I was enlisted. I arrived at Langley in 2015. Wasn't the easiest time that I gave her when I first met her. Sergeant Jacobs, I'll tell you, I received my first LOC that year in 2015, and I didn't know I was getting one. I was asked to report in my blues, and being an A1C living in the dorms, I snapped the cutest picture in my blues. Reported in, had to go to my flight commander's office, and got paperwork. I then went to Sergeant Jacobs' office and started crying. And the first thing she said to me is like, "You didn't cry in the commander's office, right?" I did not. That was one of my first military lessons, that military bearing, and you take your counseling and suck it up out of there and go to flight chief's office and cry. Hopefully everybody else has had the same experience that I have had. Sergeant Jacobs' office was always the go-to office to cry in. Sorry. When any of us are having a hard time. But what I admire most about her is I'm a perfect example. Obviously switched over to the O side now. Even though I had a PT failure. So even though I had a PT failure, received a letter of counseling, I still worked my butt off on that inpatient floor as a tech. And she still saw the potential in me, put me up for quarterly award that same quarter. I won. Then put me up for Airman of the Year for our squadron that year, and also won. She saw my work ethic, and I can't tell you probably how my mindset would have gone if it wasn't for her taking me from that moment and building me back up to continue on to achieve everything that I've achieved today. The type of leadership that Sergeant Jacobs presents is a type of leadership that I try to emulate today as an officer. She is the type of leader to stand behind you and go to battle and fight for you. She, correct when needed to, but also continue to encourage those members to continue on and do your best. She's also kind of the shoot it straight with you, and if I was having a hard time, she comes down, she talked to me to my level of like, I understand why you're having a hard time, and this is how we can continue to build you up, and here's the next step forward. There was a quote that Sergeant Jacobs has always reminded me of, and it's leaders building leaders. She is the type of selfless leader that will never put herself in for a reward, never put herself in because she doesn't think that she deserves the recognition for everything that she ever does for her airmen, and she'd rather put her members in to succeed. So when I think about what it means to be a leader, and the number one characteristic I think about is taking care of the people. So whether that is going up to bat for them, like I said, recognizing the hard work your people put in, or even through corrective discipline because you care about your member and want them to succeed. But ultimately, as leaders, we take care of our people. And why? Because we take care of our people, and our people take care of the mission. Like I said, this is a leadership quality that Sergeant Jacobs from day one has emulated, and that I've tried to bring on myself too. I get compliments all the time about my leadership, but what people don't see is who brought me up from that. And Sergeant Jacobs played a huge role taking me under her wing as an A1C to get to this side. She's been there for a lot of my milestones, so personal, professional, there when I made staff sergeant the first time, pushed me. And then also for NECP, it's a moment we won't forget. Also always remember her coming up to the nurses station with ultrasound picture in her hand. We're like, oh, we're so excited. She already had Savannah. And she's like, no, look again. And we'll never forget that moment. And that's how much she cares about her techs, to include you in that moment and include you in part of her life as well. I want to thank you for your nearly 24 years of service. And the only thing that I ask is as soon as you leave this Air Force, I want you to always remember the people and the impact that you've made, and you've made it a better place at leaving. Thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the publishing of the retirement order.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC-001799. Master Sergeant Courtney Jacobs is relieved from active duty, 96th Healthcare Operations Squadron, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. and retired effective 1 April 2023 in the grade of Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Attention to orders. The United States of America, to all who shall see these present greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal First Oak Leaf Cluster to Master Sergeant Courtney L. Jacobs for outstanding service 25 June 2020 to 1 April 2023. Master Sergeant Courtney Jacobs distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Family Health Flight Chief, 96th Healthcare Operations Squadron, 96th Medical Group, 96th Test Wing, Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. During this period, Sergeant Jacobs led 2 clinics with 74 personnel through 4 health protection conditions, conducting 169,000 patient encounters and achieving a 98% patient satisfaction rate. As a truly versatile leader, she led her flight's transition through the squadron's redesignation, evaluating space requirements, and dividing equipment worth $355 million, while simultaneously supporting the group's pandemic response through the outdoor coronavirus clinic and inpatient operations, yielding a 99% survival rate. Furthermore, Sergeant Jacobs authored 2 enlisted master training plans, designing timelines and job qualification standards, and resulting in 0 errors on the unit training monitor inspection. Finally, her tireless dedication to patient care contributed to the squadron's win of Air Force Material Command's 2021 Vern Orr Award and the medical group's recognition as the 2021 Air Force Surgeon General Hospital of the Year. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Jacobs' distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Signed, Colonel Gregory A. Coleman, Commander of the 96th Medical Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Lieutenant Kelly will now present the Certificate of Retirement from General Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, to Master Sergeant Jacobs. Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these present greetings. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Courtney Jacobs, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 31st of March 2023. Signed, Charles Q. Brown, General, Chief of Staff of the Air Force. Master Sergeant Jacobs also received a certificate of appreciation from the Commander-in-Chief. It reads, for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Sergeant Courtney Leahy Jacobs, I extend personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, embody the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Commander-in-Chief. Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs, please join us on stage. It is Air Force tradition to present the Air Force Retired Personnel Pin as a memento of active duty service. At this time, Master Sergeant Jacobs requests that her husband, Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs, present the Air Force Retired Personnel Pin.
Don't her.
Sure you don't want to do one more year, babe?
Thank you, Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs. Master Sergeant Jacobs will now present the Certificate of Appreciation to Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs.
He appreciates me.
Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force. In grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Given this 31st day of March, signed Colonel Gregory A. Coleman, Commander of the 96th Medical Group and Chief of Staff. Savannah, Alex, and Zach Jr., please join your mom and dad on stage. Master Sergeant Jacobs would like to present the military child certificates to her children. The accompanying certificates read, Savannah, Zachary Jr., and Alex. Today, after completing 23 years of active Air Force service, your mother has ended a career of honorable and faithful service to her country, and her efforts are sincerely appreciated. Such a rich and rewarding career reflects a strong commitment to the principles of freedom and democracy, and the belief that they must be upheld at any cost. That type of total commitment is not possible without the full support of the entire family. Although you may have never had to carry out a military order or deploy into a hostile environment, your loyalty and steadfast support of your mother's career can rightly be viewed as service to your country. That loyalty and dedication were significant sources of strength for your mother during arduous duty and exemplified the highest traditions of patriotism. On behalf of a grateful nation, the Department of the Air Force, and the entire staff of the 96th Medical Group, I extend to you sincere thanks and express our appreciation for a job well done. Thank you, Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs, Savannah, Zach, and Alex. You may be seated. Technical Sergeant DeJesus Negron, would you please come forward to present the flight retirement gift on behalf of the men and women of the Primary Care Flight.
First, I want to apologize for ruining your New Year's party. If I can have the members of the Primary Flight come up here with me. It was cold. Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you for your leadership, your mentorship, your understanding, your empathy, the laughs, the friendship, and for what we needed it, that's stern discipline, right? I don't think you understand the positive impact that you have made on every single one of us and everybody else that was lucky enough to see you in the past 23 years. And I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart that you definitely did right by every single one of us. Thank you, Sergeant Jacobs.
There's more space. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all.
I didn't even see him.
It's time, Master Sergeant Jacobs. The floor is yours for your final farewell as an active duty Air Force service member.
So I will preface this by saying when I speak in front of large groups for an extended period of time, my voice wavers. It doesn't mean I'm going to cry. It just happens. So thank you all for coming. I want to send a big thank you out to Sergeant Lennon Citrelli and Ms. Misha Knotts for putting this all together. Give a big round of applause. They both worked really hard while doing their job at the same time. This was almost a full-time job, and I just really appreciate both of you very much for all the time and effort that you put in. Thank you. It is surreal to be standing here at 23 years of service, and when I'm done, I think it'll be 23 and a half. I remember tentatively making the decision to join when I was 22 years old. I'm actually from the area, so I was living in a trailer off Lewis Turner Boulevard with one of my best friends. I had slowly stopped taking classes at what is now Northwest Florida State College, and I had just been promoted to assistant manager at Wendy's on Edwin Parkway. And I just knew that I wanted something more than that. I wanted security, I wanted an opportunity for growth, and I probably didn't know that I wanted it, but I wanted some structure. I'm not sure that I understood the gravity of that decision when I made it. I certainly didn't expect to be standing here in front of you now, 23 years later, after the career that I've had. I didn't expect 9/11 to happen, which happened a year and a half into my service and completely changed everything. I didn't expect that to pull the mission into focus the way that it did. I didn't expect to care as much as I did. I didn't expect to serve all over the world, make friends that became my family, and to eventually somehow become a leader. See, it's just quavering, I'm not gonna cry. And to care about what that meant. You may wonder if I had known all that, if I would have made the same decision, and I think that I would have, because despite all of the frustration and the disappointment and the heartache that comes with service, I built a whole life on this. And all in all, it was easy, right? You just come to work and you do your job. But also it's really, really hard. Especially when you have no say in anything. But at the same time, it's really wonderful. But it was also really terrible. There were years and experiences that genuinely broke my spirit. But there were moments and memories that just aren't available to everyone that I have now. Ones that fill me with so much pride, like the sense of accomplishment as a team after loading critically wounded soldiers onto a plane in Afghanistan so they could go somewhere else to be treated. Or seeing an airman I mentored accomplish something they really wanted, like Lieutenant Kelly here, who I am so proud of. You were never trouble, ever. Getting a group hug from 21 fellow medics at the end of what was one of the most rewarding missions of my career last year in Fort Lee, Virginia. Those are my memories that wouldn't be there if I hadn't made that decision. My journey was not seamless. There were speed bumps, there were setbacks. Despite my constant professionalism and maturity that you all know, I do have a couple of LOCs, an LOR from a squadron commander, and a UIF under my belt. But those were lessons learned. For example, if you're gonna go swimming in an apartment complex pool that you don't live in after midnight, you should probably keep it down so the cops don't get called. But seriously, those growing pains honestly taught me everything about professionalism and respect, not only for others, but for myself. They're lessons that I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful that I experienced them because I used them in leadership to pass them on, and they made me better. But I certainly didn't do this by myself, and I'd like to thank a few people who were instrumental in my career. First, my dad. Right here, say hi. Retired Master Sergeant John Leahy. Just FYI, he's kind of a badass. If you want to stop and talk with anyone after this is over, I suggest you talk to him. He has tons of stories, and I'm so proud of him. He served for 20 years and retired in 1994. He flew the AC-130s out of the 16th Special Operations Squadron out of Hurler. He was part of the reason the Desert Storm only lasted 42 days. He was there during the Battle of Mogadishu. I'm not sure if I said that right. In Somalia, also known as the Black Hawk Down event. He served when you could lose stripes and get them back like a revolving door, and he did that. But he has always been my hero. And it was because of his service that I knew what the Air Force could do. So thank you, Dad, for your service and for the example that you set. My mom, who just retired herself last month after, how many years did we say it was, Mom?
43.
43 years of being the hardest working person that I know. So please give her a round of applause. She taught me everything that I know about strength in the face of adversity and resilience. She never had it easy, but I never saw her falter. She always showed up, and she was the rock to so many people for so long. She taught me about responsibility, about being true to your word. She taught me that this too shall pass, that heartache and pain won't last forever, and you can come out on the other side better than you went in. She also taught me to never be afraid to hug somebody, to reach out and connect. And honestly, the proudest moments of my career come from that lesson. So thank you, Mom, for everything. To my husband, Master Sergeant Zachary Jacobs, who I still outrank by time in service and time in
Not anymore.
Anyway, I was more than halfway through my career when I met him, so he really didn't do that much, but seriously, he has always had my back. What more proof you need? As I'm getting ready to come here today, he's got my uniform out on the bed, cutting all the strings off and making sure that everything's set straight. There were so many times throughout my career when I felt alone and when I desperately just wanted someone else to be there and to have a partner, and he gave me that, and everything has been better since. So thank you, babe, for being my sounding board, a listening ear, and a partner in everything. It means more to me than you know. I don't want to forget some of my supervisors that made a difference for me. They're all retired now, but if they're out there listening somewhere, Master Sergeant Kelly Butterfuss, Master Sergeant Aaron Gallant, and Master Sergeant Franziska Ives. When I was trying to develop myself as a leader, these are the people that I wanted to emulate. I didn't meet any of them until I was already 10 years in. But for the first time, I felt like someone saw that I had value. They took the time to talk to me, make an effort to develop me, and gave me a standard to strive for. And I was always so impressed with their knowledge and commitment. So if you're out there listening, you truly made a difference in my career, and I thank you for it. To all of my commanders, my colleagues, and my friends, there's too many to name here, but thank you all for the impact that you absolutely had on my career. Lastly, to the airmen, the ones who have moved on to the civilian life, the ones that aren't airmen anymore, the ones who are still learning, anyone that I had the pleasure of supervising in some capacity from 2005 until now. You are the best part of this gig. Getting to know you, learning where you came from, why you're here and where you're going was the literal best part of my job. I am going to miss the conversations with you the most. Yeah, it is, Mom. I'm going to miss being part of your journey, watching you realize your potential, helping you towards your goals. I loved every one of you. And as cliche as it sounds, my greatest accomplishments were being a part of yours. You gave me purpose when I felt like I didn't belong. In the dark days, you were the light, and you will be that for others. And one day, some scruffy tech school baby is going to be yours. And I urge you to take the time to truly connect with them, because I think it was the one thing that I did right. Don't subscribe to this new breed of airmen shaking my head mentality. They are better than I ever was. Smarter, more ambitious, more educated, and they just need someone to see their value. That value is there in every one of them. For now, I'm going to channel that energy to my beautiful children. I love you. But once my troop, always my troop, and I will forever be invested. So thank you to the airmen, the leaders, the friends and the family for being a part of this beautiful career. I will miss it, but I'm so excited for what's next. And lastly, I will effectively relinquish my self-appointed title as Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force and pass that on to the very worthy Master Sergeant Miranda Schaefer. You got this. Let's party. That's all.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Jacobs. On this occasion, we consider we have let go a true friend, a leader while society has gained a fine citizen. Master Sergeant Courtney Jacobs, good luck and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now present to you Master Sergeant Courtney Jacobs, United States Air Force, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On behalf of the Jacobs family, we thank you for attending and invite you to join us for refreshments and cake. And have a great Air Force Day.
I know it's what time there. First you Well, thanks.
Yeah, I'm supposed to release to you. I don't know if you said anything. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That was really nice. Thank you for everything. I really enjoyed it. Me too. I like how to run out. I'm so proud of you. This is your wife? This is my wife. Congratulations. Yes. This is now.
Yeah. Nice. Long time coming.
She got me down. Now I'm happy.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll take a picture. Real quick if that's okay. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all see my surprise too.
1, 2, 3.
Are you good in?
Oh, nice. Ah.
Okay, thank you.
36 minutes.
Is that how long it was?
36 minutes.
Not bad, right?
Honestly, one of the best retirement speeches I've ever heard a retiree give. Seriously. So, I'll do my best for your shoes.
Way better than that. So you got some good ones there.
Monastero said congratulations. I just sent him some pictures.
You did?
Yes, she's very proud of you. Congrats. We'll see you around.
Yeah, of course. I'll be here for a while. So.
Excellent. So will I. That was improvised.
I'm gonna try to make it Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, not tomorrow. That's not right. I mean, that's the next time, right? But tomorrow.
Yeah.
At what time?
6 o'clock.
Props, right?
In nice. Check.
When you start your narrative,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm sweating.
Oh,
I'm all gross and sweaty. I love you. Congrats.
thank you. He's one of my favorite. I can say that now.
You can.
Are you coming to anything?
Yeah, I wanted to go to Saturday. When are you going tomorrow again?
It's my official party at Propscale House.
Oh, that's right.
Nice. 6 o'clock.
I'll go to that.
See you then.
Congrats.
Thank you. It was nice knowing you for the short amount of time.
Yeah,
I get a really good feeling.
I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I'll still be here though. That's the last.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Finally time.
I feel like so surreal.
Free entertainment.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be on
I know
the
you're
plane.
gonna give me a hug. I tried to get over here.
Oh, Besh, get this one. Oh, you meant that they were about to. He'll actually hug me.
Kick me out of the picture.
What's going on? So we stand there awkwardly.
Everyone's saying goodbye to me.
Gosh, babe, why are you yelling at us?
Hi. Fine. She what? Hi.
Did they, at this place, did they have access to that room over there? Or something to cut the cake with?
I know that we did have it.
You did good. Oh, is that a knife too?
You didn't have to say it.
Congratulations.
You almost made me talk.
Yeah?
You're supposed to do that.
Great job. I'm proud to hung in there. I always praise you.
Yes.
I did. I didn't do that for you.
Yeah.
I was like, she'll quit. She's a wuss. No. You know I'm teasing. Get over here with her, baby. Let me get a shot. You could have been in it.
Because it's a problem. She came in, and then she tried.
All right, what the heck is this crap?
Sorry, it's not like everything you said.
You got me.
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. It's all the battle ones.
He doesn't either.
Yeah, you only mentioned 2 battles I was in. I was like, what a ripoff.
I wanted to do the ones people have heard.
Oh, they've heard of Grenada, they've heard of Panama. They've
Not
heard
these ones, not these kids.
Oh, not these kids. So they know Black Hawk Down.
Because it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't know it. So, what are we going to do? Do you know?
No, I don't. We're going to have to figure
We're
it
going to
out.
figure it out as we go. Okay. Okay, too late. Can't give you nothing now. No, you got to leave it now.
Poser.
No, leave it alone. You can't have it now. Because it's your mommy. She has to give it to you. Opa can't give it to you. What? What are you talking about?
And what's next for you? Use the wait.
That is very big.
I didn't realize. I'll save this one. I'll give you a small one. You gotta help me.
I don't know what that little girl said. But I don't want to run it out. Oh, you're in line for cake? No.
Do you have Wi-Fi? Back up, boys. Back up.
Daddy will get you something.
You want some of that? Back up.
You want me to give her some of that?
You want to cut it? Yes. Look at this small face though. I gotta cut like a normal piece. Stop.
Yeah, one of the kids out
You want a piece?
Yeah, that's her running over there.
So do you want?